You are now dialed in with the Dial Brothers.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to episode 10 of season 2 of the Dialed In Show. How you doing, Stephen?
I'm good. I got a little confession to make off the top. Well, you already know. The people don't know. When I went home this past weekend, I flew on a different airline.
Yep. See, that's why y'all can't be paying people no attention. All that stuff, folk talking stuff about, they only go to Tarjay and they only do these different things. But Mr. Delta,
Well, I haven't flown Delta in years. I mean, I fly Southwest, but American and Southwest.
So who'd you fly with?
Another S.
Spirit. The big yellow.
I survived.
You got here. You got back to Dallas. No issue. No complaints, I assume.
No major complaints. It was just weird. Like going to the gate, it's just like was in like a dark corner in the airport. Like I just felt like different.
Well,
just walking past all the other gates, and then you just kind of get into this dark corner.
Well, and you went early in the morning.
They ain't have chargers in the seats.
You talking about on the plane?
No, well, on the plane, but some Southwest flights don't have that. I'm talking about waiting. So my battery's dead. Like, I'm getting to the airport 2 hours before, so I'm sitting there on my phone for 2 hours and no charger.
The point of flying with Spirit or Frontier is just to get to your destination.
Oh, that's what I did.
It's not all those luxuries and stuff. It's just
it definitely was not. The seat was cardboard, and luckily no one showed their butt.
Did you say the seat was cardboard?
Oh, the seat was very thin. The seat was different
on the plane.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know about that. It
was different.
Either way, they got you here and back home safely with no issue.
That is true. That is true.
Will you take another Spirit flight again?
If I need a deal, sure.
So you saying the only reason you would do it is to get the good price flight?
Oh, yo, who flies Spirit because they want to?
I mean, I guess the times that I've done it, it's because it was cheap, But
who flies Spirit because they want to?
So you think that not everybody, but most people, if they had the money, they would fly on nicer airlines, nicer planes?
Yeah. You think people willingly say, I'm flying Spirit? Okay.
Maybe. Now, some people, because, okay, y'all, now let's be real. It's not that bad. It's really not that bad.
It's a culture shock.
So I don't see the big issue with it. But I'm glad that Stephen decided to, come down here with the rest of us for just a second.
And then someone came up to me and said, "You on the news, ain't you?" I was like,
So they're like, dang, he got to fly on Spirit with us. But yeah, no, I'm glad you had I'm not going to say you had a good experience, but I'm glad you didn't have a bad experience. It
was not a bad experience. I mean, turbulence, you can't blame that on an airline. That's just the air.
Now,
literally, we are in the air for like 6 minutes. And the pilot said there's going to be some bad turbulence for a while. So, like, the turbulence started, and then people are like, okay. And then, like, if you're on a roller coaster and you drop in your stomach, like, do that. We did that. And the boy in front of me said, we could turn this thing around. It was bad.
And then, given all of what's been going on with planes, it's like, man, land this plane.
One time, and I mean, I go to sleep, and I was dozing off. I knew it was turbulence, but I was dozing. I was like, I'm going to sleep. And the woman in the middle was asleep. Everybody on my row was asleep. And when we did that, boom, she grabbed both of us. Like when you drive and you grab. She said, "I'm so sorry." She's like, people were freaking out. I said, I'm taking my butt back to sleep. If I die, I die.
That's funny. That's funny. So because you had the window seat.
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh, I'm still getting my window seat. I don't care what airline I'm on. Window. I just saw some news as of this taping. Southwest Airlines starting in May are going to, they've been losing money, so they're making changes to be like other airlines. Starting in May, they're going to charge you for your checked bags now. I guess you used to get 2 free check bags.
Mm.
No, you're going to get charged like a regular airline.
Mm. And I guess I'm used to, because at this point,
I don't check bags no more.
at this point, I have probably flown. I don't know. Maybe that's not true. I about to say I've probably in my adult life, I for sure have flown more affordable airlines than I have the deltas of
Mhm.
airlines.
I,
So
I don't know. Last time I found Delta.
I'm used to what people call like the nickel and diming, that you have to pay for every little
Say
thing.
something else.
Huh?
I just heard Nick. I was like, oh, wait, it's going
Oh,
there.
no. No. So I'm used to that. So it's like
Mhm,
when people complain about having to pay for a bag or whatever,
mhm.
to me it's like you always have to do that. But
And I mean, unless you just going somewhere for 2 weeks, there's no reason why you can't fit everything in a carry on.
I think it depends on what you're doing.
A carry on is the size of most luggages nowadays. Like, you should be able to fit everything in a carry on.
The way Steven comes to Atlanta sometimes, now granted, most of the time you're only here for a few days, but he'll have a backpack. And it's like, how did you get everything in that?
Well, for the spirit, when I paid for a carry on, I ain't want no doggone drama. So I said, even though I paid for a carry on, I'm bringing a book back because I don't want to hear no, oh, your luggage too big. Then what the heck I'm gonna do at the airport, like with my luggage? So yeah,
They just
I,
forced you to pay to check it. But then
well,
it might not
because
be
I ain't had
here.
the fun. Yeah, and then see, and that's another reason I don't check bags because my stuff ain't about to get put on a different plane. Nah, I want to land with my stuff.
But well, you know what be cool to me sometimes when people's stuff get there before they do.
That's
Like
not cool.
it gets on a plane before
Mm-mm.
you leave.
Nah.
When we went to with Miami,
Mm-hmm.
or whose bag got lost? Mine?
Mm-hmm.
When we were
Your bag was ahead of you. I got your bag for you.
yeah. So that's
See, that's
crazy.
stupid. And then what? It was because your flight was delayed, right?
Yeah. That was a horrible when it came to the flying, that was the worst flying experience I've ever had. Trying to get back to Atlanta.
Like
Remember
turbulence, or you talking about delays?
the delays? Yeah. Remember I was on
Mm.
the plane with Bruce,
Yep.
and yeah, they kept delaying it all day long. Kept
Did you
delaying
get
it.
a free flight?
No, they ended up giving us a
Voucher.
some
Like
kind of voucher for something.
flight
They gave us
service?
a meal voucher while we were waiting.
Where'd you go?
I don't remember the name of it. It was some hot dog place, but I had never heard of it before.
Nathan's.
No,
It
I
was
had never heard
green.
of it before.
Hmm. Remember when remember last week when we shared with you guys a little boy somewhere, Michigan or something, called 911 for a donut emergency. Remember I told you it's a slippery slope, man. So did you click the link, Micah? Because you probably didn't.
Yeah, I think yesterday I
Okay.
saw some black people.
Yeah. So a black family. A boy called 911 on his mom because she ate all the ice cream. Now, luckily, the cop showed up calmly, but the cop showed up. It was on body cam. The mom opened the door and said, "They really came." And the cop is asking the little boy, "Did you call 911?" He said, "Yeah." "Why?" "She needs to go to jail. She ate all the ice cream." He said, "You think she still needs to go to jail?" "Yeah." The comments on this video, if y'all have not seen it, oh my God. They said the second that door closed, that boy got his butt whooped.
It's like if he didn't have a reason before to call him, he sure got one when they left.
Man, and see, that's why it's a slippery slope. But that's not. Oh, and she said it on camera to the kid. It's not. Oh, and the cop said it too. That it's not cute because you shouldn't be doing it because you don't know how an officer or this situation may unfold. You
Yeah.
know, she could have been in the middle of whooping them, and then the cop think that she abusing the child.
Yeah. It could have gone left for several reasons, but at the end of the day, because no one got hurt, nothing happened. It is kind of like, okay, haha, that was
Nah,
cute.
ain't no
You,
haha.
you better not do it again.
I know that boy got his butt whooped after that.
But see, okay, so here's a question that I would have like for law enforcement, right? So let's just say it went the way that it went. Police leave. She then does spank him. Let's say spank.
And then he called 911.
And he calls them again. But this time, let's just say they show up and let's say he's light enough to where there's like a red mark on him. What is the police officer supposed to do at that point?
Right.
Because now it's like, okay, well, it does look like she hit him.
And some moms will say I did it.
Yeah. Because then I think if the police officer came back and just was like to themselves, oh, he deserved that spanking. But then let's just say they
It's a
leave
different
again and then something serious happens to that kid.
Yeah.
They'd be in trouble.
That's why your kid don't need to call doggone 911.
But
It
how do
ain't,
you
it
teach
ain't
a
cute.
kid?
It ain't cute.
But how do you teach a kid what's a legitimate reason to call and what's not?
Me eating the damn last ice cream cone ain't no reason to call 911. I'll tell you that. What?
But they don't know the difference. They just know you say if anybody hurts
Have you called
call
911 on
911.
your parents?
Huh?
Have you called 911 on your parents?
No, I never even thought to do it.
Oh, okay. That's the point.
No.
Okay. That's the point.
And we were never taught at home the way that some people are, like, don't talk to police. We were never taught that. At least I wasn't.
Yeah, no.
But at the same time, you ain't fool with the police like that. I mean, it wasn't like a nah, especially when
They
you
come
grow
and
up in
find
the
out.
era of all the Trayvon Martin stuff, we didn't. I probably shouldn't say what I was about to say, but in society, the police weren't people that we cared to really be around. Because you thought when you thought police, you thought, oh, they gonna kill me.
Yeah. Or something bad happened.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
nah, well, nobody calling no police. See, that's part of the problem. These kids now, they ain't used to police killing folk. So that's why they not scared of them.
Man. I mean, and let's be on the record. You should not be scared of cops. You should not be. It's just, you gave the perfect situation of what if, that cop came back for something, or it was a different cop responding who wasn't as cool with the little, because they like, nah, you called 911 for a reason, and thinking that cop may think the kid is like talking in code or something. You know what I'm saying? Like trying to be like, hey, I don't like it. It ain't cute. It ain't cute. I did
You
not
just think
laugh.
that there's
I did
no.
not laugh.
You think there's no legitimate reason to do it if there's not a legitimate reason to do it?
No, because you don't know what it could be a ripple. You don't know what could happen. The mom may have been yelling at the child when the cop knocked on the door and thought something was actually going on
And shot the mama through the door.
And you don't, man. And I think you're right. It's part of the area we grew up in. It's a little different. No.
Yeah.
How would your mama react if you
Oh, you definitely would have. And I think, like you said, the reaction of the police officer is what makes the difference.
Yeah, and the police officer was very kind.
Yeah,
And I'm happy we were able to see that version, because it's funny, because last week we were just talking about what if it was a black family, because that wasn't a black family.
Yeah, it definitely could have gone another way. But moral of the story is try and teach your kids when and when not to call 911. I just don't know how you do that, especially with a little kid. I don't know.
That kid was about 4.
I don't know how you do
He was
that.
kind of tall, so he may have been 5.
Mm,
And
mm.
he was just like very convinced. Like the cop said, "Do you think she still should go?" He said, "Yeah."
Yeah, he like, and maybe he don't know what it means for her to go to jail. Like, and I don't think cops do stuff like this anymore because everything's so sensitive. But the cops
Oh,
should
I
have
know what you're talking about.
the
To put
cops should have like
handcuffs
put
on him.
handcuffs on her. You know, should have been like,
Oh,
you know what? Okay, I'm gonna take her. I bet that
nah,
little boy would just start crying, or
I
or
would have said you need to put him in handcuffs for making a false report.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't think they do stuff like that anymore, though.
Nah. I know what you're talking about. Nah.
You know how people would get the cops to like arrest their kid,
Mhm.
and but now, yeah. Mm-mm.
In the category of another thing you shouldn't do, maybe if you're doing drugs, don't put it on live. Why?
How many of y'all have seen the video of the guy in Alabama? He is chilling. He's having a good time on Facebook Live. Got his marijuana, and while he's on Facebook Live, there's a knock at the door,
There
and
wasn't no knock.
it wasn't who he was expecting.
Come
Police
on,
came
man.
in and raided his what seemed like be apartment or something, because he's showing off online. Now, to me,
No,
y'all go find it and
you are
watch it.
dumb.
To me, they were a little too aggressive. I'm
It's
saying
drugs.
the cop who kept, well, I can't say it, but he kept telling him, "MF, get down. MF this, MF." It's like, dang.
Because you don't know if they got guns and all. I mean, when you're entering certain situations like that, you got to be serious. You can't just be like, "All right, guys."
But you ain't gotta keep calling me a MF though. You like, I hear you. Okay, I'm gonna do what you tell me to do. And here's why people be getting killed by police for sometimes. They need to learn how to give better instructions. You just told me to get down. Then
Right,
you told
in
me
the
to
moment,
turn
and then
around.
you're like, "Don't move."
Right. Then you tell me back up to me, put your hands up, get down. It's like, I don't know which one to do. Like, you giving me all these different directions.
Yeah.
That I was frustrated watching that because I'm like, this guy gonna get shot. He don't know what to do.
Well, at least he got evidence on his live. I'm just like, how dumb can you be? One, you shouldn't do drugs. But how dumb can you be? Nowadays, I've met a cop. It's so cool. 'Cause, I do stories on things like this. And I was at some event and I met one of the cops who poses online and tracks criminal suspects that they're looking for. Because it's with fentanyl, kids are
Mhm.
making deals on Instagram and stuff. And she was like, "Yeah, I'm the person who like is on these profiles and stuff." I'm like,
Mhm.
I was like, "So you see a lot?" And she was like, "Yeah." But it's like, dude, cops are probably already knew that man.
Mhm.
And why you gonna go live with your
Now,
drugs?
speaking of the live thing and cops, I would suggest to anybody, you ever get pulled over, go live on something.
But see, you fumbling with your phone or something may agitate the cop, may make the cop think you doing something. I'm saying you
Well,
trying
yeah.
to
Now,
do that.
if you somebody who old and you don't know how to do it, then don't try and
You
do
ain't
it. What
gotta
I'm
be
saying is,
old. What if
you
your
can.
phone down here and the cop right there? All right, reach for your
No, what I'm
phone.
saying is, before not making no quick, large gestures with your body. That's not what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Half of y'all, your phone is near your hand anyway. So I'm saying, while you pulling over,
Mm-hmm.
just real quick, go on Facebook, go on Instagram, and just sit it in your cup holder. And now, what I don't like is the police officers who be telling people to turn their phones off.
Yeah, because they can't tell you to turn your phone off.
Yeah, well, why I gotta turn my phone off?
I'm in my car.
Yeah, you got a camera, so why can't I have one?
Right. But the thing is, all right, you go on Facebook Live and you get shamed, and the cop running your information and say you ain't got no insurance, and you like, then you look dumb on live.
Well, you need to have all your stuff together. That's the different thing. You need to have your registration need to be current. You
Mm-hmm.
need to have your insurance together. which all that is crazy. Anyway, they ask you to give that to them because they can look at it
Right.
themselves.
Yeah, it's dumb.
Yeah.
I don't get it. It was one time I was pulled over, and like he knew, and I knew, but like my insurance had just expired, and I was renewing it, but it had just expired, like the day before, and so he asked for the paperwork, and then he was like, "Oh, your insurance is expired." And I'm like, "That's why you asked for the paperwork, bro."
Mm.
Like, and he was like, but he was cool. He was like, "But you're in the process of renewing it today, right?" And I was like, "Yeah."
Mm. Yeah, we love our police officers. You know, most of them are just
There
trying
are
to do their
there are
job.
good cops. There are good cops. There are
Yeah,
bad cops, but there are good
for
cops.
sure, for sure.
I guess I just got bad stories today in a row. A father was convicted of shooting a youth football coach over his son's lack of playing time. This happened in Missouri. The dad was 45 and shot his 34-year-old son's coach 5 times near a practice field.
Did he die?
I don't think so. No, because he would have been charged with something. No, I don't think he died. I hope he didn't die. Why? Why?
That was
Maybe
something
your kid
deeper.
just sucks.
That was something deeper. It was one or two things, and mark my word, it was one or two things. I believe the second and not the first. The first is coach was messing around with his girl.
Oh,
That's option number one. But I don't think that's what it was. I think it was option number two. He had a flashback to when he was a kid and the coach wouldn't give him playing time, and it just set him off, and he went and did what he did. But can you imagine being a coach and getting shot
5
because
times, 4 times. Jeez.
because you didn't let a kid play as much as the parent feels that they should play? But that doesn't exist in any sport, that everybody gets even playing time.
Oh no, but he thought his son should be playing more. Whew, man, that is what is going on in the world today, or how y'all pastors say on today. I hate that. Oh, I hate that.
I don't understand why you hate that.
Because you don't say
It's
on today.
on today, on tomorrow.
No, you say tomorrow, today. You don't say. There's no need for on.
Well, there's no need for a lot of stuff, but we still say it.
On today,
The weather on today is slightly
or just the weather.
cloudy.
You don't even have to say today. The weather is cloudy. Eliminate some words.
It's not that deep.
I didn't put a political thing on here, but what are your thoughts in the world of politics, since we love our politics?
Well, this morning, and again, y'all remember we record on Tuesday, not Wednesday, but this morning, I like to read, not the newspaper. I don't get a physical newspaper, but we have Apple. Both of us have Apple products, and so we have Apple News, and I like to go in there and peruse the news of the day. And Ukraine today, but they're ahead of us in time, but it's Tuesday still. Ukraine today, they unleashed their largest drone attack against Moscow, capital of Russia, today. The war over there between Russia and Ukraine is getting worse. It's both sides.
Escalating, huh?
Yeah, it's escalating severely. And this is right ahead of the talks that are supposed to happen in Saudi Arabia between the United States and the two countries. So it seems as if President Trump's tactics aren't working, at least not yet. Also, two other things about President Trump. Saw something, I don't remember which news outlet said it, but his net worth is slipping because, really, in Don Lemon's words yesterday, we are already in a recession. If you look at the Dow Jones and NASDAQ and all this kind of stuff, everything's going down, but nobody's really talking about it.
No, people are talking about it.
Even the employment is not
people are talking about it. It's just the response from Trump supporters is he's only been in office 7 weeks. Like, and that's true. Part of it is true. Like, our dude just got in office. But the thing is, you're using his words against him. He is the one who said, "Oh, I'm going to end the war on day one. I'm going to bring prices down on day one." That did not happen. And so, granted, yes, in a unbiased sense, the man only been in office 3 months, but he himself said, "I'm doing all this day one." That he did not do. I don't think he did anything day one other than all these executive orders, but he didn't do anything. Nothing stopped. The war didn't stop. Prices didn't drop. Yeah.
Everything is literally doing the reverse of what he said it would do. Now, he has lately been saying, give him some time. It's temporary. There's just going to be temporary disruption.
He should have said that from the start.
But all these other countries, Canada, Mexico, they're like, silly rabbit, Donald. You acting as if you the only person that can tariff another country.
Right.
So they're doing it back. New prime minister in not California, Canada. You know, they not playing with him. And I think he thinks that whereas before certain things Donald Trump did and other countries were kind of afraid of him, this time it doesn't seem like they are. It seems like they're fighting back. And said that DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency, should really look into Donald Trump's spending because in his first 48 days, 13 of them, he flew to Florida to play golf. And they were talking about how much money it's costing the American taxpayer, how much money his golf trips cost in his first administration. And something that a lot of people, especially the first time, weren't taking into consideration when they said, oh, well, Obama played golf this much and all this kind of stuff. But Trump liked to go to Florida to play. You know, most of the other presidents didn't necessarily do all these huge travel trips. Because they said even one of the places he liked to play in Florida, I think it's his course or somebody else's, but it's on an island. And they talk about how they have to do all this stuff in the water, you know, to protect him. And then given all those, you know, the 2 assassination attempts. So it's just like, all right, Elon, is this not a waste of money?
It's a good point. It's a good point.
So
it's a good point. It's been interesting. I don't know who the heck from the Democrats going on for president in 4 years. But have you noticed? So Gavin Newsom is taking like a different approach. He is doing a podcast with only conservative people. I think that's a good strategy. I mean, you just talking to the people who already support you, and he's not trying to convince them to vote for him, but it's showing that he's willing to debate these people or have a conversation and maybe find some common ground and put his heels in the dirt about what he stands on. What do you think about it?
A lot can happen over the next 3 or 4 years that can completely change the political landscape. But I could, at least as of today, I could see a real nice showdown between Gavin Newsom and JD Vance. I think, and I ain't even gonna lie to you, I think JD would win. I'm not gonna lie to you.
In this current climate or in what the country will look like in 3 years?
Well, that's what none of us know what it'll look like in 3 years. But if it was today, because if one thing that Trump is doing this time that's different than last time, he's sharing the spotlight a lot more than he normally does. Like all this Elon stuff. First term Trump would hate people talking about somebody else that much. So it's like even certain things with JD, how JD talks more. Pence ain't never speak up like that. So it's like I think Trump understands, you know what? I can't run again. So I got what I want. Yeah, JD
he can run again.
Well, he know he can't.
Technically, he can.
Ain't nobody doing that.
How old would he be? I think he would be 82.
If some kind of way,
78, 79.
If some kind of way Republicans did that, like trying to change made an
You don't have to
amendment to
change the Constitution. It says the president can't serve 2 consecutive terms.
So
I'm pretty sure
you
it's
mean 3
2 consecutive.
consecutive?
No, I'm saying he's not serving like he served 8 years ago
Mm-hmm.
and now he's serving now. The
Mhm.
Constitution says the president can't serve more than 2 consecutive terms.
So you saying because there was a gap in there,
Yeah.
he could run again?
Yeah.
Like he really could.
I think so. The Constitution says 2 consecutive terms. More than. Hold on. Keep talking.
Man,
I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure the way the Constitution is written is more than. Oh, well, no, it says he can't. New York Times did an article last month. Constitution sets a 2-term limit for president. I thought it said 2 consecutive terms. It just says 2-term.
yeah. Now I
I
think
thought it was 2 consecutive.
I think there's something like if I think there's a way for a vice president to be president for 10 years. I think it's something like if you become
Yeah.
president less than halfway through the term or more than whatever it is, that you could then
Mhm.
run twice.
Like
And
LBJ could have ran twice, I think,
yeah,
but he chose not to.
yeah. And he said that the
Mhm.
presidency should be 5 years.
Yeah. That was
And that's
interesting.
it.
I thought it was 2 consecutive. Guess it's not.
But unless something happens, JD is running for sure.
Oh, yeah.
And I think he'd be a darn good candidate.
Mm.
I'm not saying that
Yeah,
I
no,
support
he,
him.
he knows how to talk. He knows. Yeah.
Yeah.
He survived the calling Trump a Nazi. Yes, he.
Yeah. I mean, he has a wife that's of color. I mean, he would be the ideal candidate for the GOP.
Mm-hmm.
He's
Come from humble beginnings.
right. He's a veteran. He was an entrepreneur. He was a senator for 2 weeks. He was vice president.
Some people say Obama was a senator for 2 weeks.
I think he was longer than JD.
He was longer than JD.
But it's a strong possibility that JD Vance will be the 48th president of the United States. It's a very strong possibility. What we cannot do, it cannot, and don't kill me in the comments, people, but we cannot nominate a woman. It's not gonna work
Yet.
Well, yeah, it's not gonna work in this next election. It cannot be nobody of color. They need to be all white. Mama white, daddy white, grandparents white. They need to be white. It can't be nobody of color. It need to be somebody who really, to be honest, isn't super liberal. It can't be.
And that's why people think Gavin Newsom will be hurt because he comes from a super liberal state. Yeah.
We need to go find. You brought up LBJ. We need to go find a middle-aged LBJ.
Well, people were really pushing Andy Beshear, the governor of Kentucky. He white. He's a Democrat governor in a Republican state that has Republican senators, but and some people are like, well, he just won because his dad and blah, blah, blah. But still, he's a white Democrat in a Republican state that continues to win.
Yeah. And whoever it is, like Tim Walz said yesterday.
I done forgot all about Tim Walz. I was scrolling on Twitter and saw Tim Walz post a tweet. I said, I forgot all about that man.
But like he said yesterday or the day before, Democrats played it too safe. And this next election, Democrat, whoever the candidate is, they got to fight. They got to get in the trenches. How Michelle, she has thrown away her quote about when they go low, we go high. No, we got to go low with them. Like this.
What did Councilman Mays, rest in peace, say? He said, when they go low, I go lower.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I saw somebody say, when they go low, we going to hell. Like it's so, because it's just, society is the climate we're in. Being nice ain't gonna cut it.
And I got into a spirited conversation with some people about, like, some people are like, how I said to them, Jasmine Crockett will never lose that seat as long as she wants to sit in it. And they were like, it's just so like that's not the lawmaker she used to be. Now she's cursing, blah blah blah. One, Trump does that, but two, people respond to things like that, especially I think nowadays. Like I don't think it's so. Oh my God, she said the F word. She said this, like because that's what regular people are thinking anyway, regardless of what your politics are. And so now, granted, does it seem like she's putting it on a little bit much? Yes. Some of the curse words just seem forced, but that's how people talk, and that's what people think. And so I don't think we're in this age of politics where people are civil and all that. That's not where we are anymore.
Biden loved cuss.
And if Democrats figure that out, I mean, Democrats are perceived as weak, just in general. I'm not saying cursing makes you strong, but you gotta do something different.
Yeah. And I think it is a little cringe sometimes when I see her say certain things.
It seems a
Um,
little forced or scripted, maybe.
or it makes us look ghetto.
Mhm.
So, but to your point, like she'll never lose that seat because she's capturing attention.
Yeah.
And same thing, like now I've never seen her really cuss, but like when AOC had all the popularity she had because
Mhm.
she went against the grain.
Yeah.
Um, well, I can't say what I was about to say.
Some people are not happy with Hakeem Jeffries as far as like the
He's
Democrats
been
seem dysfunctional.
soft.
Well, no, Democrats seem dysfunctional. Like in President Trump's speech, like some of them holding signs, some of them walked out, some of them wore a color. Like y'all ain't uniform at all. Like
Yeah.
what message are you trying to get across?
Yeah.
And the signs backfired. That was weak and lame.
Yeah.
To be completely honest, regardless of your politics, that was lame. It says like Democrats seem dysfunctional in some ways.
Nancy Pelosi, and she had that grandma kind of flair to her, but she had more control, it seemed like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was like, nah, you better not get up. Or, it was just, and in his defense, for many years in those speeches, Nancy was sitting up there behind the president and you could see her and she was, saying,
Mhm.
no one could see Hakeem. So he
Yeah.
couldn't like do anything.
Mhm.
And I wish, I don't know how you feel about his name, Al Green.
Mhm.
But I wish Hakeem, because he was right behind him,
Mhm.
he should have said, Al, sit down.
Nah, Al wasn't gonna sit down.
Like,
Al Green, old school. He
it's just,
would have cursed Hakeem out.
but like you said, there was no unity.
Mhm.
Like either all of us about to get up and walk out.
Yeah. Like
Or-
if they all walked out with Al, that's different. You know what I'm saying? Like at least
Yeah.
y'all did something together. Now, and also what backfired on them is I totally understand the whole sitting don't clap. Like Trump walked in, they didn't clap. All right, whatever. Certain things don't clap. Okay, regardless of your politics, like you're not clapping for a kid that has cancer. Like,
But have you seen that little?
yes, yeah, and I've heard his comments. And some Democrats did clap. I want that to be on the record. Some did clap, but they didn't stand. But you're giving ammunition to the Republicans of. And Trump even said in his speech, like he's like, I could talk about a cure for cancer and y'all wouldn't clap. Like some things you could still clap for. You ain't gotta like the man. You can still clap.
But I think the issue is you're manipulating this little boy with cancer.
But everyone does that. You don't think Obama has put somebody up in that gallery to talk? Every president does that.
But not like the way that this little boy,
Every
he
president
gets
does that.
it from his parents or his dad.
Yeah.
But the comments that this little boy makes, it's like, oh no, I can't say what I want to say.
He said,
Nah.
Democrats that are mean to President Trump, I'm on your bumper.
Yeah. And it's like, man, yeah.
Don't get in trouble, Mike.
Yeah, that's why I'm trying not to say anything. Because I don't like the
get me
little
in
boy.
trouble. The boy live in Texas. Don't get me in trouble.
I don't like that little boy. He talk a lot of mess.
He's
And
dying.
And why his voice like that?
He's dying. Stop talking about that boy.
But he messing with people. Like he just I don't know. I don't know. I don't care for him. I hope he lives. I hope he prospers, but nah, I don't really care for that little boy.
Do you have anything good to end on? I don't want to end on I don't care for that little boy who has cancer. Jesus.
All right, you can have cancer, but if you talking mess, then forget your cancer. You need to shut up.
Okay. All right. All right. Guys, thank you for watching this episode. Is this episode 10?
Yeah.
Oh, see, you didn't even say it at the beginning.
I did.
I don't remember.
Go check the record.
We'll see you guys same time, same place next week.
Bye, y'all.